大家好，我是郭志伟，这是我的表哥，他叫 Fred， 你们见过他？他很聪明，他是哈佛大学的，他是律师。今天他要跟我讲很多美国文化。
大家好，我是 Fred.
So today I have a question for you. Let's say, you had a nice beach, very pretty beach, little seagulls flying everywhere, and your mom and your wife fall into the ocean. Who do you save first?
Yeah, I can't answer that question. If I told you I would save my wife, my mother would disown me. If I told you I'd save my mother, my wife would divorce me. So there's simply no solution to that problem.
But what if I said you had to decide, otherwise I'd kill you? Would you say what?
I can't provide an answer on camera, unfortunately. Yeah.
Is it a lawyer thing?
No, it's just a self-preservation thing.
Okay. So the reason why I asked this question is, in China, there's a lot of disagreements between a mother and a wife about how to raise children. So I kind of want to understand, if let's say your mom and your wife had a disagreement about how to raise your son, who would you back up?
I would back up my wife. To my mother's chagrin, for sure. She wouldn't be happy, but at the end of the day, when we're the parents, me and my wife are the parents, so we get to make the decisions about how to raise them. My mother or my wife's mother, they can give their input, but the decision is ours. So if one of us wants to do something a certain way, the other one backs the other one, backs their spouse up.
All right, another question is, if your wife asked you to do housework, would your mother be upset?
Well, my mother would be very happy. She would encourage me to do even more than what I've asked.
Would your mom ask you to go back to your mother's house to also help do housework? Like help your mom do housework at her house? Because she would see how good you're doing the house. So she'd say, hey, Fred, come to my home to help.
That's a bigger favor, especially because I don't live with her. Right. So I'd have to travel there. She does actually ask me sometimes to hang a mirror or something, so handiwork.
Right.
But yeah, the truth is I don't have that dynamic with my wife. We share the housework.
You do the laundry.
I do the laundry.
You do the laundry.
She usually cooks. Sometimes I cook.
Is she a good cook? Better than you?
Yeah.
Better than you.
Yeah, I think
so. Let's say your mom gives your child candy, and you don't want your mom to give your child candy. What do you do?
Oh, I would bring it up with my mother. I would yell at her about it.
So if your mom gives your child candy, will your wife yell at your mom?
Well, of my parents, my father is the one more likely to actually give sweets to my son. If I notice him doing it, I'll say something to him, yell at him or whatever. If my wife notices, she'll tell me that she noticed my father giving him candy, and then I'll talk to him about it. I think she wouldn't feel as comfortable directly confronting my dad. So,
if your parents wanted to move in with you and maybe take care of your child, how would you feel?
Yeah, I wouldn't go for that. My mother never lived apart from her parents, so she always lived with her parents in the same house. So growing up, I always had two sets of parents. I had my actual parents and then my grandparents, and they were always there, and they were always involved in what I was doing, and they always had an opinion about it, and it was very annoying. And I don't want my son to have two sets of parents. My wife and I were my son's parents. I don't want him to have to answer to his grandparents as well. So I think for the sake of keeping good family relationships, it's best if they will.
How do mother-in-laws in America expect their son-in-law to treat them?
So I think it depends on the family. I think most son-in-law, mother-in-law relationships, there's an understanding of respectful distance. There's a difference between my relationship with my mother and my relationship with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law perhaps wished I would, call her mom and maybe treat her closer to like a mom. I like her a lot, but for me it's weird to talk to someone who's not my mother as though she's my mother. So I don't feel comfortable. So I address her by her first name.
You don't call her mom.
No, I don't. And I don't think it bothers her. But yeah, that's just not the kind of relationship.
But you call her by her first name.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, in the US, there are not many conflicts between mother-in-laws and wives. And I think the reason is because there are clear boundaries between what the mother-in-law is allowed to do to interfere with a child. 那如果你想问他一个问题，你先问我，我可以问他，他可以回答。那我们现在走吧，拜拜。
我是郭杰瑞。